Hello and welcome to another How I Painted. Today I will be painting Gloomhaven Mindthief. I begin with a zenithally primed Mindthief. I make a mixture of meridian blue and trader green, and I put that pretty much over the entire mini, though I leave the mice or the rats that are on his shoulder and beneath him white. I will be painting those white, so I didn't want to darken them any. The zenithal prime, for those who don't know, is for this mini I actually only did a two-part zenithal prime. So I primed him gray, and then from directly above the mini I sprayed white, and that kind of gives you a quick shading effect that you can follow as you're painting. It's also easier to paint over mostly white. Alright, next up is Midland Flesh. I use this for the tail as well as for the rat tails. Now that's at about traditional, or usually when people are talking about zenithal prime, they usually prime black, and from a 45-degree angle prime gray, and then from directly above prime white. In this case I only did gray and white. Alright, next up is meridian blue, and this is a dry brush, so I just get a little on meridian blue on the brush, then I wipe it off on a paper towel, and then I just flick it across the mini, and the blue catches on just the ridges. So I just wanted some blue highlight on this guy. The art for the Mindthief is quite dark, so I'm not sure I captured quite that much darkness, but it is a greenish blue. Right, I used Trader Green, Meridian Blue, and Midland Flesh for his hand and arm. So I mix all those together on a wet palette, and then I'm kind of using that on the hand. I think I end up using it on the arm as well, just so that he kind of gets it's not all one color. There's kind of a gradient leading out the arm and the legs. Arms and legs. He has two arms, turns out. Now I use some Midland Flesh on just the hands. I do this while the paint is kind of wet, so it's a little bit of wet blending, not sophisticated wet blending. But it's a thin layer of Midland Flesh. And I'm not wanting it to be anything. I'm not intending it to be a vibrant Midland Flesh. That is reserved for the tails. Next up is Gungore Brown, and this is for the straps and bags on the Mindthief. He's got two little potions and I think one pouch. Two pouches. So this is when a good brush comes in handy with a fine tip. It's much easier to follow these thin lines on these straps when you have a very fine tip. Next I use Signar Blue Highlight. I'm using this to paint one of his potion bottles. I'm going to be painting one blue and one red. I'm going to use frostbite, and what I'm trying to do is make a shine effect. So the bottle is blue, and then I make this a little circle with the frostbite, which is a lighter blue. And then I'm going to use marrow white and just do a dot. And this is the dot is meant to be where the light is shining the brightest on that little bottle. So use Kadar red base for the other bottle. I'm going to attempt the same kind of effect with the red bottle. So I put the red on, and then I use Kadar red highlight. I'm going to make that little circle on it. Now I think I could have made both these circles larger and more vibrant. As it is, they don't stand out quite as well as I would have hoped. Then I also go with the marrow white and make that little shine dot on the red one. I also use that white for the white rats that I have. One on the shoulder perched there, and the other underneath his right foot. Beside his right foot. Yeah, I'm also putting some white on the tail because it's easier to paint midland flesh over white than over this teal color. I did use rattle cans, just spray paint to prime the sky. Right, and then we do the midland flesh for the tails. Just those $2 spray paints that you find at Osh and other places. I use Iron Hole Gray for the sword, though I changed my mind on this one, as I am wont to do. It does not stay gray. The hilt does, I think. Then I use Signar Blue Highlight for the eyes. No. Another place I changed my mind. So I wanted to try to get a glow effect on the eyes. So I was going to use a dark blue, a lighter blue, and then a white. And I do that, but it doesn't, it's just not the effect I wanted. I didn't achieve it. So I actually just go over all of this with white later. And even again after I put on the Quick Shade, Army Painter Quick Shade, which is coming up at the end. Again. Mix some glazed medium and Signar Blue Highlight on my wet palette. I'm trying to make a glow effect, kind of a transparent blue that I can put around the eye. I think I picked a blue that was too dark, and so it just kind of looks almost like he was bruised. Here I'm trying to make the glow effect around his right eye. Fail miserably. Then I kind of want him to look blue, more blue, so I use an old GW wash called Asherman Blue. It's named something else now. I just did it on the fur part, not on the skin. Or the arms and legs, I should say. And I use some Griffoon Sepia. It's kind of a brownish, beigeish wash. I put that on the arms and legs to further make them more distinct. I'm going back into the eye and just making it white, because I did not like how it looked. try the glow effect again with Ashram Blue. But it is also very dark blue. It is a very dark blue. Trying to wipe off some off the eye. Now, I told you the blade would not stay gray. So I'm whiting it out with Marrow White, which is such a powerful white. I appreciate it. I don't know if it's just if mine's really dried out, but it gets very white in one coat. I'm gonna wash it with Ashram Blue. I don't think this ends up mattering in the final product. I don't think it shines through. Forgot to paint that little mouse rat. I use GW's Nagaroth Nightshade. Unnecessary, but could have just used beaten purple from the P3 paint line. But I'm trying to put the runes on the blade. If you look at the art for the Mindthief, it seems like he's got kind of magical runes on his sword, as well as on his chest. I skipped doing the chest because I didn't think after doing the blade, I just wasn't feeling it. Put a little frostbite around the blade as well. Try to bring out that blue some more. Back on Iron Hull Gray for the base. And after we do the base, no, that's right. Then I nearly forget to paint his open mouth. So I get Sanguine base, do a little daub in his mouth, make it look reddish but dark. And then it's time for the Army Painter Quick Shade Strong Tone. And I just use that, glob that on, and move it all about. And once it's all over, I then kind of babysit the model for a couple minutes and take some off. Make sure it doesn't pool anywhere. Now I'm wearing gloves, goggles when I'm using this because it's very volatile. It stinks. And I use a very damaged, destroyed brush because it will destroy it further. I use this to protect the mini as well as do a shade that very quickly, a really strong shade. I let it dry for 2 full days before using Testra's Dual Coat, clear coat. And just give it a couple quick puffs. Again, this is 2 days after the quick shade. There he is, nearly finished. I realize that his eyes look terrible, so I go back in with some more Marrow White and bring out those eyes till they're very bright. And that's it. There's the Mindthief. This guy took about an hour, maybe even less, to paint. And that about wraps up how I painted the Gloomhaven Mindthief. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy painting.